My 3-year-old is not vaccinated and there's currently a measles outbreak in my state. Any suggestions for precautions I could take to protect her would be very much appreciated. Here's a fucking suggestion, you dumb vaccinate them! G'day you good motherfuckers, the Buttsman here, and can I just say, it's not polite to make fun of people who are obviously extremely crazy. But fuck it, let's talk about those cocksuckers, the anti-vaxxers, because they're pissing me the fuck off. We have talked about a lot of crazy fucking people on this channel, from extremist vegans to crazy feminists to insane flat earthers, and it's a lot of fun because they freak out and the death threats that I get are hilarious. But before we get started, can I just be very, very, very serious for a second and make sure that you subscribe, because we're going to hit 1 million subscribers by my birthday on the 14th of July. Holy shit, we're closing in on that number, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting exciting. Many people across the globe right now consider themselves an expert in vaccination. But in fact, all they've really done is watch thousands of hours of documentaries on YouTube about vaccines, which are probably made by other people who don't believe in vaccines. So there is definitely a bias. And it's horrendous to think that these people think they're experts. And I certainly couldn't go for a job as a gynecologist, even though I've watched tens of thousands of hours of Pornhub, because I'm a sad man. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You're not a fucking expert. The search for anti-vaxxers, whom are experts in the field, is a search that was undertaken by Australian YouTuber and comedian Lewis Spears. Now, Lewis released this video the other week, and if you haven't seen it, go and check it out, but it's fucking funny. Here it is.
I'm at an anti-vaccine rally in Melbourne, and we're here to ask one very important question. Does anybody in this rally know what the fuck they're talking about? Are you a doctor?
No.
Are you a doctor?
I'm not a doctor, no.
No, I'm not a doctor.
Are you a doctor or a medical professional?
Nope.
No,
No,
you just...
I'm in natural therapies.
Are you a doctor?
No, not at all.
No, you're not. But you have done your research.
Oh, my word.
Yes, Lewis found out that there's no doctors in that fucking rally. All cocksuckers. That's it. But anti-vaxxers are not a joke. There are children who are greatly suffering from parents who refuse to vaccinate them because of videos they've seen and shit they've seen on the internet and fucking memes. Yeah, memes are evil. In fact, in some parts of the USA, measles, once controlled by vaccines, has increased by 50%. That's not laughable. That's dangerous, and it's scary as fuck. This concept of being an anti-vaxxer and that being a fucking thing to be proud of, like this fucking human being who promotes it on his Instagram. I'll blur his fucking details out, but check out this bloke. Feminist, animal rights activist, anti-vax, GMO, herbicide and pesticide-free cyclist. Can you meet more of a fucking virgin if you fucking, I don't know, went directly to Muslim heaven, honestly. We may be an intelligent species, and perhaps the people who are alive today are the most intelligent of all time. But there are 7 billion people in this world, and if 1 in 100 people are fucking idiots, that's a lot of fucking idiots getting around. And I tell you what, the anti-vaccine community loves fucking idiots. They're all fucking idiots. It's great. Anyway, let's check out some of these dumb fucks, shall we?
Jennifer Margolis and her husband have 4 children, ages 5 to 15.
I have chosen to vaccinate my children. I have not chosen to vaccinate my children on the current CDC guidelines.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. What would the Centre for Disease Control know?
Lynn Barton and her husband have 2 older children. Her opinion about vaccinations?
I think there are too many and they're given too early.
Now, this may be a fair point, okay? And this is probably the only anti-vaxxing sort of concept that I sort of agree with. Perhaps we shouldn't be, when we have a child on their 2nd or 3rd day, or whenever they get their needles, pumping them full of 6 or 7 different needles or variations of vaccines. Maybe that's not overly healthy. I don't know, okay? I'm not a doctor. And that's an important part of that sentence, because nor is she, okay? You're not a doctor!
And they live in and near the picturesque town of Ashland, which has a 26.4% rate of kindergartners exempted from vaccinations, according to a local pro-immunization group. And that's why in some circles, this town is known as the least vaccinated city in the U.S.
Highest population of dumb fucks.
Jennifer Margolis, who is an author and freelance journalist, was one of the parents at the meeting. She believes in some vaccinations for her children, but not others.
What do you mean you don't believe, you fucking idiot.
Does it bother you that perhaps you are endangering other children in your community by not getting your children vaccinated with MMR?
So I'm not endangering people in my community because my children are incredibly healthy.
Yeah, because they're healthy now. What if they catch a disease? I think what will happen is the medical term of they will be completely fucked up. Fucked!
Lynn Barton also believes in some but not all vaccinations. Her son got both of his MMR shots, but her daughter only one, because she says her daughter got sick from it. Barton is skeptical of much of what the overwhelming majority of scientists say about vaccines.
Being skeptical is important because we've been lied to a lot. And it's important to remember that some conspiracies are real. But if you believe everything is a lie and everything is a conspiracy, then you will eventually lose. And by lose, I mean you'll lose your child to smallpox.
But if you're saying, do I always accept what someone in authority tells me and obey that? No, I don't think that it's my obligation to do that. I reject the premise that I have a moral obligation to put my child's health at risk.
You also obviously object to the, obligation of making sure your children don't get diseases that have been extinct. So why are people doing this in the first place? Well, there are many reasons, but the main reasons are, well, as follows. Many anti-vaxxers will make the point that vaccines contain very dangerous chemicals like aluminium, mercury, and formaldehyde. But it's been shown through many, many different studies that yes, it does contain those, but they are trace amounts that you could run into any day in your normal life. There is a risk associated with getting a vaccine. You might come into contact with some chemicals that don't agree with your system and you could be fucked up, but you could also not get the vaccine and then catch smallpox and definitely die. A lot of anti-vaxxers believe that vaccines cause allergies. Now, in fact, the science that's come out over the last 10 years point to exactly the opposite. In fact, they help with allergies. So, 2 points to vaccines. Doing well so far. I think that one of the biggest reasons that this is such a contentious topic at the moment and people are talking about it is because the diseases that vaccines have cured over the past century or so, no one cares about them anymore because we haven't seen them for so fucking long. For example, smallpox in the 60s killed millions of people and now none. Polio used to affect thousands, tens of thousands of people a year. Now, none. Since the measles vaccine has been introduced in the 90s, the World Health Organization estimates that 20 million people's lives have been saved. If that's not evidence to suggest that vaccines are good, then I don't know what fuck it is. But the biggest argument against vaccines comes from a paper that was released about 20 years ago, which came to the conclusion that vaccines can cause autism. Now, you may have heard that being reproduced or spoken about by anti-vaxxers in the past, or even joked about by other people, but the people who wrote that paper in the first place, 10 out of the 13 people who wrote it came out and said that the evidence was falsified. I mean, that's a pretty good strike rate for me. Now, this got a little bit serious there. We were making some good points, but let's go back to fucking with these people. Let's check out a few anti-vaxxers memes from their Facebook page. It's great. Who here has kids that have never been vaccinated? Like from birth, not one single shot. My son will be 6 months and has never been vaccinated. And my other kids, 4 and 7, have been, but they haven't received a shot for about 2 years now, and I don't want them to receive any more. I'm just scared my baby will get sick for some reason. For some reason. I feel like I've been brainwashed into believing he absolutely needs them. I want to see who has healthy children, not grown adults, but actual kids who has never had a shot and who hasn't gotten terribly sick. I'm just scared. I'm 23. My son is 4. Neither of us have ever had a single shot. We have only ever caught a cold. No flu, no peritius, no chicken pox, etc. Healthy diets, lots of sunshine will keep you healthy. That actually is a very good point because a lot of people didn't know when there were millions and millions of people dying of smallpox or even Ebola or the bird flu or SARS that all they had to do to fix these horrible diseases was walk out into the sunshine, you fucking idiot. What's in vaccines? Dog kidney, peanut oil, lactose, eggs equals allergies. African monkey kidney equals diseases. Aborted fetal tissue equals an autoimmune disease. Cancer causing formaldehyde. Neurotoxins, aluminium, asthma, speech delays. Educate before you vaccinate. It's your choice. Yes, it's your choice Whether you want to save your child from a horrible disease or ruin their fucking life, up to you, baby. My 3-year-old is not vaccinated and there's currently a measles outbreak in my state. Any suggestions for precautions I could take to protect her would be very much appreciated. Here's a fucking suggestion, you dumb cunt. Vaccinate them. They're a poor little child. Give them a needle so they don't have to die from fucking measles, you fucking idiot. And if you thought those were fucked up, here's 2 absolute beauties to really show you the type of people who live and breathe oxygen with us. Anti-vaxxer warrior mum. If vaccines are so great, why aren't they mentioned in the Bible? You fucking dumb fuck. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go, last but not least, let's enjoy one more. This is too much fun. I have 5 children and they will never be vaccinated. They are protected by Jesus, and I know faith helps you walk the righteous path. The same people that tell me to vaccinate are the same people telling me that God didn't masterfully craft the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Mid stinks. Vaccinate your kids, you dumb fuck. And if you are an anti-vaxxer watching this video, thinking about doing a rebuttal video or trying to dispute all the things that I said today, here's a better idea. Get your iPhone and just put a little bit of Vaseline on it and shove it up your ass. I don't give a fuck what you think, you stupid fuck. Goodbye, au revoir, toodaloo, bye.